to stay out in the clear, but he'd like his players to kick longer to him.
The second quarter about to start here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. The umpire holding the ball high, made a slight delay. Match statistics on the screen. Don?
Well, quickly running through, there shouldn't be much difference. There's not really at all. The only thing that's lacking at the moment is a bomb, and maybe a bomb could go into both those teams to start and ignite this game, because it's there for the win.
So here we go. The Swans at quarter time, a 2-point advantage. Parsons on the ground. Williams can't break clear. Hawkins chipping in. Mitchell off to Murphy. Murphy runs up towards centre half forward, has one bounce and sends a long drop punt kick towards goal. It's close to the line and it's allowed to bounce, which was a little risky, I would have thought, by Rick Kennedy, but through for a behind to the Swans. So 3-5 plays 3-2, and Rick Kennedy, a rugged defender over the years for Footscray. And I think the Bulldogs at the selection table on Thursday night have gone for some spirited stuff. Kennedy's kick towards half back. The punch away. Eccleston overruns it. Tap on by Williams. Here's a chance. Mitchell should goal. Oh, misses from point blank range.
Interesting, Ian, that punch away came from Foster, and Foster set it up on that occasion for the Sydney Swans. Now, Foster as a defender should get in front. If he gets in front, can't take the mark, at least hit the ball on the direction of which his team's going. So he's got to flip it on over his head. Don't punch it back when you're a defender.
Kennedy goes in short. Eccleston. Pretty grey here at the Sydney Cricket Ground at the moment. Rain not beyond a possibility. Is that a mark?
So he whined on that occasion, didn't take the mark, but he at least tried to push it on, although it finished up with his teammate.
The mark paid to Barry Stanfield, playing in his second game. Up towards the centre of the ground, Steve Wallace puts it out wide for McGuinness. A bit too wide of him. Wright takes the mark. Back he goes to Higgins. McGuinness applies the tackle and robs him. Higgins. Wright again, playing game 200. Off to Neil Cordy. Kick by Cordy through sea of seagulls. Oh, big mark by Peter Foster. He hovered up there higher than the gulls. Got the hand pass off. Wheeler goes the spoil and sets something up here for the Swans. Murphy measures off the hand pass beautifully to Potter. Potter goes wide to full forward. Fell leads and marks.
Well, that was a good lead by Fell. It's also a good kick, although it didn't spin in the traditional way that a drop punt should from Potter. Nonetheless, it found its mark. It was put out in front, and you can see there Fell at full stretch. That's the way a full forward likes the ball, out in front so he can run to it.
Shane Fell, his only score to date, a behind, looking for his first goal. 45 metres out, good looking kick, hits the post. Well, the Swans have had a couple of chances this quarter to extend that lead further than the 5 points by which they do lead.
That's his second poster. Stanfield now to bring the ball back into play. Another one of the inexperienced brigade out at Bulldog land. Hawkins can't control it, and he's finding it a little difficult, Dougie Hawkins, to get into the play. Last week he struggled. There's the bench. Atkins and Charles on the bench for Footscray at the moment. Scott Wind doing the ruck work. Terry Wallace gets a hand pull away. Hogg goes to Foster. Foster's kick towards the centre, and a good mark taken by Williams. Williams sweeping hand pass. Eccleston. Eccleston's got a player out on that half-forward flank. It's Georgiadis. He leads his opponent under the ball and gathers pretty well. He's caught. Liberatore's there, but the hand pass is chopped off by Thripp. Thripp's well tackled by Georgiadis. The ball runs free. Here's young Cameron. Footscray expect a lot of things from him. Higgins, hand pass to Bolton. Rebound football now could be costly. Neagle, back it goes to Bolton. He's chased by McGuinness, but he gets his kick away up towards full forward. And good, no, shepherding is against Rick Kennedy. The umpire was there. Kennedy showing signs of frustration, but he shepherded the Swans player. Fell out of that marking contest, and Fell takes the free kick only 30 metres from goal. And
gee, I don't know. Listen, that is questionable, isn't it, really?
Well, if the player is coming for the marking contest and he's held out of it, surely...
But I thought Kennedy stopped trying to crumb the pack.
Okay, Fell goes on with it and kicks the goal. But no.
What are they doing? I'm working. do something about this.
We're always juggling money from one account to another.
Looks complicated. Maybe you've got too many accounts.
Maybe you're right.
To help you make the most of your money, we've made it simpler to choose which accounts you really need. Because at Westpac, we believe the way you bank has a lot to do with the way you live.
I think we can manage that. You can bank on us.
Well, Sydney have done all the scoring in this quarter, and they've added 1-3 to nothing. Terry Wallace out of the middle. Wheeler in front. Good mark.
Not bad, is he, Drew, this young Wheeler? He possesses a lot of athleticism. He was a little scratchy when he first started last year, but now starting to really develop.
Kick across the ground, making things a bit tough for Gerard Healy, but he gets the hand pass away. Right, great handling. Back to Healy. Healy poised, puts it wide for Potter, who leads. Can't quite reach it. And the ball's knocked out of bounds by Keenan Reynolds. Young man, modern haircut, socks down. Parsons on for Tunbridge in the second quarter. Applies the tackle to Wallace. Too high, says the umpire, and the free kick to Terry Wallace, who didn't reappear after half-time last week against St Kilda.
Had an inner ear infection, which upset his balance.
Knocked forward by Bays. Bouncing ball. Actually, Parsons might have taken it away from Greg Williams. Finished up with the Footscray skipper, Doug Hawkins. Tapped away by Cordy. Gathered by Liberatore. Great hand pass. Goal coming up to McGuinness. What should have been.
No, I think there might. Is there a free kick awarded on that?
Pushed after he kicked the ball.
Oh, he's going to be paid the free kick.
Yes, score doesn't count.
Well, he had the choice then, didn't he? He could either let the score stand or have a shot for goal. Well, he really hasn't got anything to lose by having a shot for goal.
It reminds me of a famous incident. You were playing that day at Arden Street when Malcolm Blight kicked it behind to level the scores. He was given the option. He said, no, I'll have a go for goal. And he missed everything, and you won by a point, Don.
Unbelievable, wasn't it? I thought he'd kick it from there.
Absolute mud heap that day, 1977. Tony McGuinness from right in front, 35 metres out, a goal.
McEwen's Big League Bargains are on. We're working flat out to bring you the best. Right now, you can paint your doors, windows and trims for free. Yes, free. Buy 4 litres of Taubman's Easy Coat vinyl in satin, flat or low sheen for $31.99, and we'll kick in a Big League bonus 1 litre can of Taubman's Galon enamel worth $19.40. Save $7 on Taubman's 4 litre ceiling paint, a crazy $26.99. Hurry, this offer is strictly limited. So head into McEwen's today. You're a winner every week with Big League Bargains store-wide.
Sydney by 5 points. Bays and Wigney. Wigney favoured by the bounce. Tries to get around Williams, can't. Eccleston, hand pass over to Cameron. Cameron still a little toey, I would suggest. Kicks it in the Georgiadis direction. Neagle gets it out towards Parsons. Parsons tap towards Mitchell. Mitchell gathers, but he's over the line. So we'll have a boundary throw in.
Interesting move leaving Gerard Healy on the half-forward flank. So I've got a theory about Healy. He's not a great sprinter, but he's got tremendous endurance, and that's as a ruck rover who's able to use that, whereas you need a little bit of toe on that half-forward line. I don't know whether he has got it.
Cordy's high kick across his body, back in towards the centre. Collected beautifully by Williams. The left foot pass, look at that. One side or the other, he's pretty good. Tui kicks it towards full forward. No mark taken. West struggling for possession. Right. Gets it out towards Healy. Healy just pushed a little bit by Stanfield. Play allowed to go on. And that looked pretty good to me too. So the ball helped over the boundary line in the right back pocket there for Footscray.
Don, any chance that Healy's groin hasn't come right since last year?
Well, we really don't know, because you'd have to be privy to that information. You'd have to be very close to the club. But nonetheless, he's out there, Drew, and he's just got to perform.
Right. Mitchell. Just slightly astray, that snapshot from Barry Mitchell, and through for another behind of the Swans. So 4-8 plays 4-2. The Swans lead by 6 points, and Rick Kennedy will bring the ball back for the Bulldogs.
It's a shocking kick.
That looked dangerous, didn't it? But he was helped out by the youngster, Leon Cameron, who's had plenty of the ball in the first quarter and a bit. South Warrnambool recruit. And good mark taken over here by Barry Stanfield, a 20-year-old from Fish Creek. Well, here are some youngsters. Keenan Reynolds. Now, between them, they've played something like 4 games of footy.
Nice little kick by Reynolds too, Drew.
Tony McGuinness, who kicked the last goal. Oh, big climb and almost a mark to Grant.
He's a Spring Hill Jack, isn't he?
Looks good.
Well, Bernie Quinlan's got big raps on him. Bernie doing some specialist coaching work out at Footscray. Big raps on Chris Grant and the youngster Cameron.
Crooked old bounce. My favourite Footscray here. It's tough in there. Mitchell gets the hand pass back. Parsons kick smothered. Back to Mitchell. Cameron had a chance then to take a mark inside 50. Missed it. Picks it up again, the kid. Leon Cameron goes for goal. Across the face, Dougie Hawkins. But out of bounds on the full.
There's nothing of young Cameron, is there? He looks like a little whippet.
Big heart, though, I'd suggest.
Well, he'd have to have a big heart because he hasn't got the frame, has he? But no, obviously that'll come. He's only 17.
Yes, good effort so far in the match. The kick out wide by Carter. Tap to himself, Bays. Can't break clear. Liberatore there for Footscray. The little pass in towards centre forward looking for McGuinness. It was Georgiades getting it back to McGuinness. McGuinness' shot for goal. Just bounces on the right side of the goal post and through for a behind to Footscray. 4-3 the Bulldogs, 4-8 the Swans. The difference 5 points. We've got 16 minutes left in this second quarter. And Merv Neagle to kick the ball back in for the Swans. The short pass is on. He finds Murphy in the back pocket. Murphy plays on quickly and shrugs the tackle. Kicks it high back in towards the centre. 1-on-1, Healy and Reynolds. Reynolds tough and gets his body in between Gerard Healy and the ball and rewarded with what I would have thought was a fair free kick. Swan supporters not too happy. Reynolds kicks Footscray back up towards centre half forward. A great mark taken by Parsons, just floating with the ball. One hand up, gathers and brings it in with the other. Parsons, kick out wide towards his member's wing. Again a 1-on-1. Eccleston punches the ball away. Hawkins, crude tackle by Dougie Hawkins, and the free kick surely must go to the Swans player, and that is Craig Potter. He gets the hand pass off to Mitchell. Mitchell goes further forward. Neagle could be caught, pulled off the ball just ever so slightly, but effectively by Colin Liberatore there. And a kick towards half forward. Oh, shocking miss by Georgiades. Wheeler there for the Swans, flips it out the back to Bolton, and the Swans are out of trouble. And John Georgiades, you should feel very ashamed. The kick out wide. Hogg. Defensive work by Hogg. Right. Has he kept the ball in? No. The boundary umpire very close to that and signals that it's out of bounds.
Boundary throw in centre wing. Parsons made a lot of ground to get there and contest. Comes down to Mitchell. The kick up to the 50-metre line. Fell a long way from goal. Thripp grabbed. When he didn't have it, free kick Terry Thripp against Peter Foster. He might have had it when he first played the tackle.
I thought he did. It might have been dropping the ball on that occasion.
Thripp looking around for options. He's 50 metres out near the boundary line. Bangs it long. Just offline. And behind. So the Swans are squandering a few opportunities here. 4 goals 9 to 4-3. And they lead by just 1 kick. And they've had far the most of the play. Another dangerous looking pass. Kick in by Kennedy. But helped out by Cameron. Cameron's kick to half-back flank. And a mark, good mark to Reynolds. And no wonder Essendon were pretty peeved when Footscray nabbed him. Over centre wing. Mark Williams flies, can't take the mark. Comes down to Parsons. Murphy in trouble near the boundary line. Does it beautifully. David Murphy sensational. Off to Merv Neagle. And away to Toohey. Toohey's kick close to the boundary line. West is there, kept in by Fell. Great hand pass to Potter. 40 metres out, Craig Potter floats it across the face of goal, and that is 10 behinds to the Swans. They're 4-10 to 4-3.
Well, actually, that's a good passage of play then, Ian, from Murphy, because no, it was Hawkins who was really running him down there.
They're pushing, Footscray pushing the Swans into the pockets, and even though they're having lots of shots, they're having shots from difficult angles. So Bulldogs' defensive work is pretty good. Eccleston's kick out towards the wing. Collected by Murphy, off to Williams. The vision by Williams, the kick a little too high for West, but he able to go back, get onto the right foot. Bulldogs, he's hit the post again. You're very fortunate, Dogs. because Westy was able to get into the clear a little too easily there, I would have thought, and hit the post for the third time, the Swans. Ricky Kennedy perhaps feeling a little fortunate. This time he elects to go for the long bomb. Kick at centre half forward. Mitchell, hand pass intercepted by Cameron. Backs himself, good to see for the youngster. Round onto the right foot. Kicks it out towards centre wing. No mark taken. Swans defence strong. Punching it away. Thrip. Handballs it off to Mitchell. Mitchell round onto the right foot. Transfers play to centre half forward. Underneath it, Williams can't mark. Closely opposed there by Terry Wallace. Wallace looking for the free kick. It's not on. The umpire will call for a bounce. Right on the 50-metre line for the Swans. And the fans, even though they're sparsely populating this Sydney cricket ground, pretty interested in this result so far. Steve Wallace somehow able to get his right foot to the ball and kicks it clear to the safety of the boundary line on the half-back line for Footscray. Atkins on the bench there, preparing to come onto the ground. So maybe a change being swung by the Bulldogs. Colin being spoken to by the runner.
Throw in, Wine gets rid of Toohey. McGuinness again prominent like he was last week. Terry Wallace, punch away by Murphy from Hawkins. Steve Wallace, Wine. Parsons a kick behind the play. High kick, no distance. Cameron up there again. Thrip, beautiful hand pass to Williams. Williams puts it wide for Fell. Won't quite carry. And the crumbs gathered by Hogg. Hogg pops it over the top. Plenty of time. Wigney. Now he hasn't got so much time. Back in the direction of Hogg, who's unmarked at centre wing. Footscray can make something out of this down the outer side. Hogg centres. Well, Wigney and Hogg playing a game between themselves.
And Georgiades off for Footscray and Atkins coming on.
Grant tried to lead. Wigney goes long. Grant front of the pack. Punch away by Bays. Atkins into the action. But spills to Potter. Bit high for Bolton. He had to wait for it. Lets Footscray in. McGuinness prominent. Steve Wallace. Hawkins. He's got it. He's been very quiet, Doug Hawkins, but he drifted down from the wing, away from David Murphy, to mark uncontested.
Good vision there by Stephen Wallace.
Now, the Swans have had 8 more scoring shots, but lead by just 8 points. So Hawkins can put the Bulldogs within 2 with this.
Oh.
But it's a shock. See, the kicking has been lamentable today.
I wonder whether the captaincy has got anything to do with it as far as Doug Hawkins is concerned. I know he was trying particularly hard. I was impressed with his endeavour to lead the side in the night series, and he's had maybe 1.5 quiet games. He was very quiet last week. Really hasn't got into the game yet.
Neagle kicks it back in, but straight to Kolonyuk. Kelly on the interchange bench for the Swans as Potter comes off. Short pass by Kolonyuk finds Cameron.
He's gaining in confidence, this little fellow, isn't he?
Yes, I think he'll be a really good player. Looks fairly quick. And once he gets the tempo of this caper, I'd say that he will be a really good player for Footscray. Leon Cameron. Long drop punt kick. Will land in the square. Punched away. Atkins gets his left foot to the ball. Chance for Williams. Over the top. Williams goals for Footscray.
2 sisters thrown together by their father's death.
You really think I'm going to agree to sell this place?
One can't wait to cash in her fortune.
I don't think your agreement is needed.
The other wants to keep the farm going.
This place is my home, Anne, and it'll be sold over my dead body.
Sisters at loggerheads fighting over their father's wills.
It's just not working out.
Are the wishes of a dead man about to tear these girls apart?
If you've made a date for the auction, Anne, I'd cancel it.
A Country Practice, 7:30 Monday.
Just over 9.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Point the difference, Swans in front. So this is a bit of a surprise. Most tipsters thought Sydney easily today, but Footscray giving a much better account than they did last week. Knocked towards the boundary line by Paul Kelly, who's come off the interchange bench for the Swans. Parsons kicked 6 goals in a grand final in Adelaide just before coming over to the Sydney Swans. Thrip kicked in the back of his teammate Mitchell. Goes to Steve Wallace. Eppleton. And there's a high tackle back here. and it's to be a free kick to Footscray to be taken by Greg Eccleston.
And Tunbridge back on for the Swans, and Parsons going off.
Here's McGuinness. Well, he had over 30 possessions last week, and he's headed that way again today. Up to half forward. 2 against 2. Off hands to Healy. 15-metre hand pass to Mitchell. Healy backs up. Groin looked all right then. He really sprinted. Beautiful kick. West can contest but can't take the mark. Oh, Greg Williams away from Rick Kennedy. Reynolds met by West. Is that in the back or out of bounds? We'll have a boundary throw in.
Just watching Gerard Healy when he went forward a few seconds ago, I think perhaps he took the wrong option there. There was a player leading out to that right-hand pocket, and he put the other player under a bit of pressure. 2 Footscray defenders in good position to knock the ball away. Footscray again will get clear. Wigney, and not a bad player as Wigney gets the ball out towards the left half forward for Footscray. Williams can't mark. Cordy handballs it to himself. Well tackled by Cameron. And that player gets the hand pass to Eccleston, puts him under enormous pressure. Wigney. Little pass is effective. Williams getting away from Neil Cordy. Hand pass to Atkins. Atkins outside 50 metres. Goes long with the drop punt kick into the right forward pocket. Carter, ever reliable. Rod Carter runs across the goal square. Hawkins. Carter comes back. Hand passes to Bolton. Bolton goes back to Carter. Carter's under pressure. Gets the little kick to Higgins. Higgins now sweeping hand pass to Wheeler, and the Swans are out of trouble. Wheeler's up near the centre, kicks it high over the centre half forward position. Fell a little too far underneath the ball. Williams doesn't worry about the high tackle, gets the hand pass away. It's chipped in there by Reynolds. Reynolds' kick is a little too high for McGuinness. The Bulldogs are out of trouble. McGuinness after 2 bounces. On centre wing now, Tony McGuinness kicking towards the half forward area, but the mark is taken by Bayes.
Mark Bayes, left footer. Down to Gerard Healy. Puts down Wallace. Cleverly hooked back by Charles. Terry Wallace is there. Caught by Williams. Umpire says you're holding it.
I'll tell you what, if Williams didn't jump over the top of that Footscray bloke, I give up. Now he's going to get the free kick.
Greg Williams takes it. Landing about 45 metres out from goal, and the mark taken by Justin Charles. Geez, he's getting plenty of possessions, young Leon Cameron. Could be anything. And disposal good to Eccleston, centre circle. Straight down the middle. Grant underneath it. Oh, it's a mark of Foster.
That's a good move. I like that move of Foster at centre half forward. Wigney on the half back line. Wigney gives a lot of run off that half back line. This guy, Foster, although he's a good mark, courageous, he doesn't run off the half back line, but he's big and strong, and he can take a mark just like he did then. And incidentally, if he kicks this, I think this will be his 100th goal in league football, or his 50th, I should say.
And the shot for goal is offline, disappointingly, from where he was, right in front, about 35 metres out. Scores level. And look at that, 6 more shots by the Swans, but scores level.
That's amazing. I think everybody would have thought that the Swans would have had a comfortable victory here, but so far the Bulldogs have held them pretty closely. Liberatore does pretty well, Tony Liberatore. Hand pass off to Collinute. Collinute short pass, looks for Williams. Williams comes out courageously. He's caught with the ball, should be penalised. Play on now. Advantage rule. Mitchell grabbed around the neck, and perhaps the Swans a little fortunate. Again, he calls to play on. Higgins could be tackled by McGuinness. He is. The ball runs free over the line. Boundary throw in.
Gee, the Swans messed that up. They had 2 free kicks and got nowhere.
They look very lethargic, the Swans. They just can't get that running game going at all. Tunbridge gets it down towards Mitchell. Hemmed in. He just gets his kick away. No one home. Hogg takes a good mark for Footscray at half back. He's allowed to play on a little too easily, I would have thought. He's kicked towards half forward. Neil Cordy, a good punch from behind. Mitchell goes to Healy. Healy on centre wing. This time the pass looks pretty good out in front of Thripp. Thripp gathers pretty well too. Terry Thripp hemmed in. Gets around Stanfield. Perhaps the experience there an advantage. Thripp's kick towards the front of the square. No mark taken. Swooping on it is Bolton. Kick across the face and through for another behind. So the Swans have had a fair share of the play, but the scoreboard not showing that at all. Little kick in.
Will have to pick this fellow up. That's the 3rd time he's got it from a kick in.
Cameron kick towards the centre wing. Wheeler does it pretty well, taps it to his own advantage, and now gets the hand pass out wide to Kelly. Kelly, who started on the interchange bench, the kick in towards the forward pocket area. No mark. A good punch by Wright on young Hogg. And Cameron perhaps appealing for a free kick out on the full there, but all to no avail. There's Potter and Parsons on the interchange bench for the Sydney Swans. Boundary throw-in just outside 50 metres. Charles gets himself in front pretty well. Williams is hemmed in. Attempted kick off the ground by West. Terry Wallace is caught. Ball comes free, but the umpire calls for a bounce. Stevie Wright finishing up with the ball.
Doug Hawkins now on the half-forward flank, being picked up by Merv Nagel. Compliment to David Murphy's had he moved off him.
Swans win in ruck. Hand pass comes to Bolton. Awkward bouncing ball for Greg Williams. And Footscray come out of it. Terry Wallace. Dropping back Tunbridge, who did well in the first quarter. Oh, Nagel took his eyes off it. Hawkins rips it away from him. Tunbridge smothered. Chance here for Footscray. Atkins paddles. McGuinness inside 50. Short pass. Grant. One out with Carter. Young and old. Grant beats him easily. Near the boundary line. Oh, he blazes for goal and misses by a long way. It bounces out of bounds for a throw-in. As far out on the other side as he was this side.
I think old Tilt will have to sharpen up a little bit. He's letting the young fellow lead him to the ball.
Overdoing the handball, the Swans.
Swans leading by a point. Liberatore gets it out. Williams. There's Grant contesting again. Higgins a bit slow. Right on the edge of the goal square. Snapped by Steve Wallace up in the air. And rushed through for a behind. Scores level again.
Well, I guess that sometimes you ask questions about teams who have done the travelling, looking a little lethargic. Well, in this case, it's the home team, the Swans, looking very, very lethargic. The kick by Nagel finds Healy in the back pocket. Healy plays on quickly, kicks out in front, nearly the mark to Kelly. Picked up nicely by Mitchell, striving hard to get that running game going. Mitchell's kick out in front of Tui. He can't hold the ball, and it spills free over the boundary line. So we'll have another boundary throw in. This time it's about 75 to 80 metres around from the Swans' goal. The scoreboard all tied up, 36 points apiece. Wigney, well caught, gets the hand pass out. Bolton again attempting the hand pass. Terry Wallace, now Wigney. Somehow, can he find space? Well tackled by Healy. Stevie Wright, Bernard Tui, outside 50 metres. Tui with a scrambling kick. Nice mark by Kennedy in front of Fell. Rick Kennedy trying to get the ball along quickly. Wheeler, good play, punches it. Reynolds off to Collingham. Collingham gets through. Little chip in favour of McGuinness, out in front of that player. McGuinness runs onto it nicely. Hand pass to Cameron. The youngster gets the hand pass to Wigney. Wigney inside 50 for Footscray. Left foot snap by Wigney. Looks pretty good. I think it's a goal. Grant likes it. That goal umpire likes it. Stuart Wigney kicks his first goal, and the Bulldogs are in front. They're 42, the Swans 36.
That's why I like Wigney. He can run off that half-back line. On occasions, as he did earlier when he was tackled by Healy, he tends to do it a little too often. Just that blind turn. He got caught by Healy earlier, lost the ball. Lucky that it didn't score, but that's good running from centre half back. Really puts pressure on the centre half forward. And West is his immediate opponent.
Under a minute left in the first half, and Footscray leading and getting the free kick here. Steve Wallace to half forward. Foster worked his way to the front nicely. Looking for another one before the break for a 12-point lead, Footscray. And here's McGuinness again, absolutely cutting them to pieces. And Tony McGuinness on the 50-metre line. Clock ticking down, 30 seconds left for the half. And he looks as though he gives himself a chance. He's kicked 1 goal, 2. Pretty close. Just touched on the line, was it? No, it's a goal. And this will be a bit of a boil over. Footscray 7-6 to 4-12.
Well, he certainly fancies himself, got a lot of confidence in his own ability, as you can see there. About 52 metres from goal, he made contact with that ball. That and carried and just got over the line. It's a good effort from the little fellow. His second.
Five seconds left on the clock. No time to get it out of the middle. Well, Murphy does. And there is the siren for half-time. And the Swans have squandered their play and trail by 2 goals at half-time. It's Footscray 7-6-48 to Sydney 4-12.